It's the week before Gimel Tammuz. You have to make a achana to connect to the Rebbe and reevaluate yourself. What can you do to give the Rebbe nachas? And Chassidim always lived with understanding that Osid Litin as Hadin, but you're more motivated when you have to give a din v'cheshbon. You have to. A person has to account to himself also, din v'cheshbon to himself. Especially when the Rebbe comes back, he's going to say, "What did you do to bring the Geula closer to the Geula and tip the scale for the Geula?" So one has to not only make a cheshbon and connect to the Rebbe more, so it inspires him and it gives him more keches to live with it and to do the Rebbe shlichus, and not only onto himself, and to inspire his whole surroundings around him. The Rebbe Gevol zal zijn futza ma'asecha chutza. So one a simple word that I learned to Sicha is on Pashas Kerach, that the Rebbe says that it was Yeshua said Shemesh Begivo Deim, that he stopped the sun so that they should be able to prolong the day, so they should go on their Nitzachon and kill their enemy and wipe out their enemy, so it's negeya to their nitzachon. And so the Rebbe says a hesber that it's not, like I would say, it's not like a primitive thing. They needed a little more light, a little more during the day. So the Rebbe explains what happened. What is the inyan? What did it was really a ruchnis dikavor too. The Umas Ha'elam are allowed to bow down to the sun and the moon. In other words, they say that they do Avodah Zarah. They were smart people in the time of Enesh. They started bowing down to the sun and the moon. Why were we bowing down? There's certain ashpoas that come from the shemesh. From the sun shining, the fruit ripen and the apple becomes gold. They have certain vegetables that grow from the moon, from the Yereach. And therefore, and the tides, the ashpoeh that comes from the Shemesh and Yereach, they were very, very brilliant, smart people. And to them, this was their hashpoeh, that they were serving God through those hashpoehs, Elokad Elokaya. So Yeshua, in order to conquer Eretz Yisrael and kind of change the derech and aveda in Eretz Yisrael, just that like he had to change the derech and aveda amongst Yidden too. There were those who were like Kerach people, who are great tzaddikim, but I'm rich and I'm powerful and I deserve, and that type of Aveda. There was like the Meraglim, that were cynics, Eber Chachamim. We know how to serve God the way we want to serve God. Like what everyone said to somebody, he should tell him he should serve, he should do what I want the way I want, not the way he wants me to want. In other words, you serve the Eibishter, you forget about your ideas of how to serve Hashem. When the Rebbe tells us now is the way we lived in our younger generation, it was very exciting. This is Miftzah Mezuzah. So all the Ashpos are going to come now through Miftzah Mezuzah. Israel is going to win the war in Shmirah from Miftzah Mezuzah. And Miftzah Neshek, when the women will light candles, all the air will come, and all the Ashpah will come through that Miftzah. And so on, all the Miftzahim that the Rebbe made, the tanks, the Mitzvah Tefillin. They'll win the war through the Mitzvah Tefillin. So the Rebbe called the shots, so to speak, the Tzav HaShoah, and the same thing. Yeshua. How did he stop the sun? Says that he showed in Yaakov Shemini. It says that he showed the sun the Mishnah Torah that Yidden are learning, and the Rebbe explains that the sun and the moon, how do they give hashpoah? They're just the sun and the moon. How do they give hashpoah to the plants down here and the hashpoah over here in that aspect? Is through their shira that they say to Hashem when they're traveling very fast and they're bowing down to Hashem. There's a malach that pushes them and circles them, and that's their ishtachavoah. Adarabah, the Rebbe says it goes very quick, like 400 years in malach tak shana in 24 hours. So the Rebbe says, how come it goes so quick? So the Rebbe says their intense dedication to Hashem is so strong. The question is, how do they go so slow? Because they have such tremendous kechas and power. How do they contain themselves, so to speak? But the bottom line is that through their shira, that they say, through the ruchnisdike aspect of their shira, comes down the ruchnisdike energy, life that comes down to the fruits and vegetables from the sun and the moon. So Yeshua showed the sun that the Yidden are on a much higher level. They're going into Eretz Yisrael, and they learn Mishnah Torah, which is, so the sun was kind of so curious that it stopped saying Shira. And when it stopped saying Shira, it stopped giving the energy to the Umas Elam. They were able to obliterate them, to wipe them out, because they didn't have a Yanika. And it seems to me, I can expand on that kind of the whole chayas from Goyim comes from a very high place that it comes from but it comes b'chitzenis when it becomes b'chitzenis. So Yidden, their ashpah comes from that the chitzenis goes into a pnimius, that the chitzenis have to be poil. Every makiv is kind of, it's a makiv is like a galgal. It's like a world. It encompasses all the yitzurim. It has tzaddikim, rishoyim, beinanim. It has everybody there. It has all kinds of malachim and neshamis, and altzilus, bria, yitzira, asiyah. Every world, every galgal, every heichal, every house has a whole family there, and there's different members in the family. And the house protects them from the outside elements, so to speak. But kedei the hashpah should come down to every single person, that needs Aveda. It's like a talis cotton. The talis is Kabbalah soul, and Kerach said it's enough Kabbalah soul. It's enough I have a roof over my head. What do you need every single person to take part and be part of that family, to be part of that ecosystem, and that's enough. But why do you need everyone to contribute his particular Aveda? And because a Yid has to be mamshich in the pnimius that from the makif, from the chitzenis, it should go into the pnimius, and that pnimius is only that comes to Yidden. It doesn't come to Goyim, and it makes a difference in the whole Aveda and the whole hashpoeh, and it's directed to the right and to the right source by Yid doing the Torah and mitzvahs. The chayas and the kedusha and the energy and the hashpoeh and the parnasa gashmis, it all it comes to that Yid, and if he doesn't behave, this hashpoeh will go to havdil to chetzenius to a goy. That's the way it's like Esav and Yankiv. That comes and Nephils that come, but it's up into our hands to do it. Kitzer, so the Rebbe says that when the ashpoah from the goyim stops because the shemesh is all of a sudden got curious or respected this higher level of Torah that Yeshua showed in Mishnah Torah, he stopped saying shira. The goyim didn't have the ashpoah; they were able to get rid of them. I think that's what could be one of the reasons that the Rebbe told us, and the Rebbe's Indian, and the way you perceive it through Gimel Tammuz, is that the Rebbe, what's the Rebbe's Indian? One of the last inyanim and one of the main inyanim is Limud Rambam, to learn Rambam Mishnah Torah, and through us learning Mishnah Torah, through us kochen sich and the Rambam, the Rebbe is able to take away the ashpoah from Welt, and not only take away the ashpoah from Welt, they shouldn't harm us. He's able to utilize the ashpoah from Welt. They should help us in Torah mitzvahs. It's like the sun helped Yidden win the war. The same thing, the America and the world today is helping Yidden to be Mekayim Torah mitzvahs and all the inyanim from your Futzah Ma'aseh Chutzah. Until the Rebbe, through that Mishnah Torah, you bring down the Geula Amitis Vashlema. The Rebbe, through us learning Mishnah Torah, the Rebbe is able to do his Aveda in Shemesh Begiva Deim to bring the to take out the Chamam and Artika to reveal. Era Alvana Kera Shemesh Ki Shivas Mebesis Meshois Kedem Miuta Commission Nema Vayasal Kim Shnei Ameres Hakdelim Yiskanim Imbono Mikra Shekosu Vikshul Kim Smalkum Omen Begolam Mitzvah Shlema. I just wanted to mention a story I heard. I can't verify it 100%, but I heard it from Manis Friedman, Rabbi Manis Friedman's son, and he told me there was a lady who called him to find out about the Peretz Mochkin, my grandfather. What's Ramaisa? She had a dream. Her father was discussing with her things and in the dream, and at the end he said to her, he has to stop now because he's busy. He can't talk to her any longer because the Peretz Mochkin is farbringing in Gan Eden and he wants to go there. So she wants to know who is this Peretz Mochkin or about him. It turns out that this was one of the Hasidic Yidden who, Maizeh Peretz, when he was in Pucking, he used to bring Shabbos with all the other Chassidim, and there was a lot of other Chassidim who sat around and were inspired, especially then when they needed that inspiration after the war, by Peretz Mochkin, and later in Montreal, Peretz Mochkin farbringed a lot. Downtown, there was a lot of other Chassidic Yidden from other Chassidic Kreisen, and he was one of these people who actually klept sich to the Peretz and was around by his farbringers. Therefore, he was zeicha, I believe, even in the Elam Haba and to be there by the Peretz Mochkin's farbringen. It says. Another word, another word says, Kol Hashem aloches b'chol yeh muftach leisha hu ben elam haba. So the Rebbe says, what is alichas? Alichas is yechum mechayel choyel. You go, a yid, and the shama comes down here lamata, he goes from level to level. How do you go from level to level? You go through halachas. It says, he remembers him. So what is this remembering him? What is this Dvar Alocha that Yechum Mechayel Chol? It's the same thing. When you're going on a journey, the Dvar Alocha is there with you in that journey, that you never went away from where you are. All you are is Yid connected to Hashem through Teda. And that's the whole idea of a Yid chazering or thinking or saying inyanim from Teda and Kedusha, that you mevarer the Elam wherever you go. So Kol Hashem Alochos B'chol Yom. Why does he say B'chol Yom every day? Why doesn't he say B'chol Eis, B'chol Shah, B'chol Rega, like that? So Kol Hashem Alochos B'chol Yom is it reminds you of the B'chol Yom Yu Beinecha Kachadoshim, that every day one has to treat the Teda and mitzvahs and the world. Actually, it says every day Hashem renews the world. You give. A guy has a the car banged up. You give it into the mechanic to fix, and it comes back a couple days later, polished and buffed, and looks like a new car. Wow! Could you imagine? You're giving your neshama to the Eibishter every evening, and you say B'yotcha afkid ruchi. Beir is like you're going to the mikveh before you go into Gan Eden, and over there the Eibishter rebuffs you, repolishes you, and they say, B'yotcha afkid ruchi, it's a pekodin. What means a pekodin? That the Eibishter is going to give you back your neshama when you pay your debts. When you learned the whole day, and you did tzedakah v'chesed the whole day, when you did ma'asim tevim, the Eibishter returns you your neshama in the morning, fresh and rebuffed and cleaned and polished like in the car wash, and it's not like you put it into a mechanic shop. This is like the Eibishter is giving it to you. Imagine the Eibishter is giving it to you. It's a new neshama. It's a new teira. It's totally in a higher level. Yechul Mechayel Choyel, that Halicha Selam Lei, you're going places higher and higher and higher. Halicha Selam Lei means lay to the Eibishter himself. The difference from Stam Chayes and Welt, the Goyim, Lahavdul, and whatever, I'm not going to say Goyim and Misnagdim, but but you have to be aware of it, that Chosid is like a variable. A worm, kriegt rein, kriegt raus blotte, aber sof kriegt raus. Am snack is as if a patiet, sagt er sagen, Reb Yosef Vilenkin. He couldn't say a reis, a patiet. A portrait is a portrait. That the way you hang him up, that's the way he is. You hang him up, he has the same smile all the time. But there has to be emotional energy and growth and going from level to level. How do you go from level to level? Imagine you become a new person. The Eibishter refurbished you. You wake up in the morning. You say, "Meidan il fonecha." Who brought me down here? Il fonecha. You yourself gave me back a new lease on life. Rabba Manasecha. Rabba. It's more and more and more the growth from emunah and bitachon till all the other chayas that comes when a person wakes up in the morning and kol Hashem neshama ba'apeh and spreads it out through davening, through learning, through working for Hashem and tzedakah v'chesed. That is the aveda of kol Hashem lochas b'chol yem is halichas elam lei, that through Torah you take that makif, that chayas chitzeni, and you bring it in to such a level in the pnimius. What is that pnimius? The pnimius is that usually the Eibishter gives chayas through a seder ishtalshelus. There's a lamas v'estadim, and there's a seder ishtalshelus. If there's no lamas v'estadim, if there's no ananim, the world could disintegrate in a second. So these galgalim, these levushim, these makiv arochik, the heaven and earth, and all the halamas v'estadim and tzimtzumim is kedei we should get chayas. When somebody learns Torah, is Eisi Atem Leichim. You connect directly to Atzmus. And that's Elam Habe. The Elam Habe is, when Mashiach comes, that you connect directly to Hashem, is not Elam Habe, it's going to happen who knows when. Elam Habe is now, the moment you learn Torah, Kol Hashem Alochas B'chol Yem, every day and the whole day, and with all the day, with all you've got. Like it's like Kel Hashem Kal Ro. Not only every neshama, the whole neshama is connected to Hashem. Is every single day that a yid understands his mission in this world, that through Torah and mitzvahs, mitzvah mitzvahs, you're connecting directly to the mitzvah mitzvahs without mesachim, without the lamas v'esteirim. He should know that even though he doesn't see it yet, but he's connected directly to Hashem. Lay you're to him, you're to the Eibishter himself. That is the chidush that the Rebbe always kocht sich in Mashiach and Geula and Atzmus and Giluim is not enough. and madreges and the hecha madreges. It's not enough. So it's not the pshat. He's looking. This is not the mishalim. This is not theatrics. This is bepeil mamish, that a chassid knows that through his aveda, now he's bringing down the Eibishter Lamata on that geula, and therefore there's no reason why Mashiach shouldn't be now. Besides that, over kol hakitzim, besides over, and the only thing that we have to be mikabel Mashiach. But there is no reason that Mashiach shouldn't be here, because now when you're living Mashiach and Geula, and when you're learning Inyan Mashiach and Geula from the Rebbe was his Mashiach, and all the Torah from the Rebbe is Mashiach and Geula, it has to be the Geula Amitzis Vashlema Tekev Umiyad Mamish. The Rebbe is so helpful that before Gimel Tamash should be the Geula Amitzis Vashlema.